Imagine you plant a camera in the enemy jungle. It's flying solo under the radar until Bowling Night Obama stops by, finds it, and starts destroying it, knowing that only the support will care to defend it. But you're not the typical support. Okay, so I had the totally original idea to play Urgot support, as I feel like my vast knowledge and tons of experience on this champ qualified me to take credit, and I know some of you will be saying I got it from some bald yelping scrotum who excels at picking things up and putting them down again. But I'm here to assure you that while I do see how other players may be influenced by what he does, I can take his build of this nonsense in game 1 and improve on it to show how, despite popular pisshead belief, this pick can be OP.
And now a word from our sponsor.
A few weeks ago I showed how I chose Opera GX in the browser Bachelor because of its features like CPU and RAM limiters, as well as integration with all my favorite apps in one place. And while everyone who tried it left very positive YouTube Yelp reviews, I figured today we could talk about how switching to this sexy cyber host of interwebs is easy. If Chrome has been your home and you don't want to break up with your bookmarks, you can easily copy all these biz niches from other browsers straight into Opera with its built-in import tool. Not to mention you can get any Chrome extension onto Opera by going to the Google Chrome Web Store. But maybe you like the profiles or the way you can access your work on Chrome, and while Opera has the same profile features, BT dubs, I get it if you want to keep those suckers as your boring work browsers, and then use Opera GX as your gaming oasis filled with convenience, relaxation, and the most satisfying keystroke sounds any browser could offer. So check the link in the description to get Opera GX, as it's freer than a public restroom, and thank them for supporting this video on supporting with Urgot. Alright, now for those of you who like to first time things you see dumbass YouTubers do in ranked, here are the runes. You'll want to take Taylor Lautner after midnight into Usain Bolt into creepy cards with the lava lamp emblem of an owl. Then you will want to take polluted air icon and the infected anus getting fisted, and you'll be on your way. Game 1 consists of 0 ADCs, which perfectly sums up the level of organization my games consist of as I prepare to hit the perfect E flash, but actually flash E because I'm bad as shit combo, as Gandalf Scooch gives us an arena for me to explode my ACLs all over that tiny K-popping garden gnome. This allows me to buy the free Nikes with the nitro boost that I use to surprise the hopeful organic Oriana fed beef who introduces me to his statue, and that's cool and all, but it's leapfrog time now, bitch, as I get behind him to puke one of my kneecaps into his throat before a titty twister keeps him around long enough for him to both flash and fail. Our level 4 jungler has Donald Trump's confidence and a blind goldfish's intelligence, thinking he can take this drag, and I'm standing right next to him encouraging it because I like drama until shit gets real. When Wanda shows up, so I flip, she flashes, a wasp knocks her up, and a bouncing bee boops her snoot back to base. And as if our entire county didn't just see you walk by heading mid, he still commits to living out his pipe dream of one day sticking his blade up a ballerina's bunghole, but unfortunately for him a floating fart cloud, a weaponized crab, and a little buzzing bomber put an end to it. I get word that their pixie shit is hanging out mid, so I put my Crocs in sport mode and hop in, only to get a whole handful of cow dick, which was utterly disrespectful, so we murder the bull. And since 3 mid at 7 minutes is meta in my elo, the little hextech honeysuckle is here, which is perfect bait to make that samurai sniff the cokies and come in swinging without realizing that me and my endless craving for games of leapfrog are right in front of him. So my KDA is looking like something pro COD squads would be aroused over, and it was time to pick a pair of shoes. I opted for the anti-magic Converses because we were laning against Cosmo and Wanda, which would allow me to safely practice my E-flash combos and set up situations where my Bumble buddy just had to front flip a honey Hiroshima bomb into the party and we'd be good. As I was thinking, Merc treads were genius as long as their master Yi doesn't get ahead. And I'm trying to think of what kind of person would try hard on that champ in a normal lobby. But he eventually does one super speed anus inspection too much, gets flipped under our tower, which gives that fat creepy doll some cash, as she's all like, who's next bitches? At this point I had Prowler's Claw, which meant I could chase down Tiny Dumbledore, tap the Tantrum Tomato and play the rest of the fights to damn near perfection, with my boot selection coming in handy during fights like that. Anyways, that was quite a fight, so I suspect that I might just find something like a midget wizard hitting a piss in the shrubs, which I elegantly interrupt before he can put his little Slytherin strudel away, and leaving M to the B. Then I'm all like, hey, just a thought, let's only fight when we have our team's tranquilizer ready, and I guess the directions were unclear as we immediately pick a battle like it's a big ass booger just hanging out a nostril, and fuck me I guess because it goes smooth as hell, to the point where by the end all I had to do was crab crawl, kneecaps popping my way into a solo cow tip, with our only casualty being Commander Furry Ballsack, so I guess he isn't that strong after all. Turns out the buffoon bought Azanias, which meant all we had to do was stick to the buddy system in fights, as I continuously execute a flawless toggle time of my kneecap cannons as we remain diligent at staying connected at the hip, nuts to butts, creating a numbers advantage in every fight, making any enemy in our way a true underdog. So after one more trip down cocaine lane for the Sword Lord that ultimately resulted in me chain banging him into my belly, and I could calmly say, eat my ass Urgot support OP after game 1. But with movement being so important, I figured I could mimic a one-trick Hecarim's build that some of you may have heard of, type 1 if you know what I mean, and this is where the support super crab pick gets spicy. This one I started with the plan to stick all sorts of battle cast body parts into Obama's bungalow, so I communicated the fact, celebrated my birthday, and then high noon the fettuccine a la fuck out of him for first blood and second blood as well. How about them apples, you ass clown Jin? I then immediately Michael Phelps my way up north because there is an opportunity to secure a kill that otherwise would have absolutely been lost. I nab myself a cinder from Bommy, then shove some Mario mushrooms into my shoe shithole to blast me into a series of unfortunate events, which ends in a crisis averted until Giga K-pop my asshole Kaisa greeds and desperate times call for desperate measures. Then we schedule the Great Blue Buff heist for shortly after 12:30, and I tell the spiky pollution cloud to distract that Chronicles of Narnia looking cuckwad, causing her to think grass is greener on the other side of the wall. Psych bitch, I'm on that side and now you dead girl. At this point I had my Kaisa looking more fed than Tim the Tatman on a yacht in front of some Fortnite fanatic, but I was making a point to contribute by teabagging all the dead corpses. Side note, that bitch on her boar apparently has some respectable AP ratios, but that didn't equip her to deal with kneecaps busting all over her pig's face right after. Then we catch her hanging out in our neck of the woods, and by catch I mean that I drop 20 different cooldowns on the ground, which results in her being no less capital F fucked than before, and me just pacing back and forth like an excited puppy when daddy gets home. It was now 20 minutes into the game, which means time to meet the top laners, and while Ori's first impression was suboptimal, I ended up having a rewarding experience. And I can't speak for AP Sejuani guides or if continuously roaming around alone in the enemy jungle is a requirement. As we bump peen tips I give her the flips, and then my ult gets a case of the blue balls. I get a sixth sense that two shitters will be squatting on our side of the rift, so I appropriately dash away from both of them, eat a good half dozen abilities, and then be on my way, with Obama by my side that is. Then it's our turn to take a group poop in their forest as Garen lands himself in base, Ori lands an ult on 2, and I charge into a wall, but my meniscus madness is enough to rack up a few dead hoes in the process. And I may be building tank, but that doesn't mean I can't whip out a big ass DPS crab cuck on their squishies. And I am also as proud as a hooker's dad to say that after 4 games I finally sucked someone into my shithole and scared her friend with it successfully. And thanks to the other team having an inting cyan emphasis on the inting, like did I mention he was just running it the fuck down, we get all caught up to the intro where this poor little AD faced the wrath of a Shumtank Predator Urgot support, and with that I just want to say, This is troll and you shouldn't do it in ranked, but thanks for watching. Slap my subscribe button silly and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out. I'm hard stuck, same rank different day, cuz elo hell's my home and I'm here to stay.